Ahoy, bitches and bros and non binary hoes. Welcome to another episode of Robby Reviews, and today we're going old school. Kind of. God, this game's like 10 years old now. It's crazy. Anyway, we're going to be reviewing Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. I'm just going to say it. This game's pretty fucking good. Big surprise, an Uncharted game is very good. I really like this game. It still holds up surprisingly well, except for maybe the graphics. I do think the graphics are still very good, but they have kind of aged a little bit. But overall, that doesn't hinder my experience of it. The game is so much fun. It's got everything you want in an Uncharted game. Basically, just like a giant fun action movie that you get to interact with and be in the action. The story, it's fun. It's pretty fun. It's nothing that's gonna like blow you away or have you thinking about life. Not like Uncharted 4 does. It's just simple, Nate, Sully, they're trying to beat another group of treasure hunters to another fantasy island to get some treasure. It's just the same thing again, but again, it still works. It's still solid. They change it up enough that it's entertaining and there's something different about each one. And I really like it. I really like the story. I thought it was fun. It was interesting. I also really like how they explored Nate and Sully's relationship in this, like through flashbacks. I thought that was pretty neat to see how they met and stuff like that, and to see it like grow and even get challenged in this game as there's like some self-doubt in it because of like Nate's obsessive nature. I thought that was really interesting. They handled that really well. And like I said, all the characters, they're fun. There's a lot of characters in here to unpack. A lot of great characters, Nate, Sully, Elena, Chloe. Even this new character named Charlie, he's very, very good. He's not in it for long, but he does make quite an impact. I will say, though, as fun as the characters are, I do think the villains are kind of weak. The villains are literally the stereotypical British villain that you'll see a lot. I just found them to be kind of boring. It's just, we've seen the, like other better villains in the franchise, and they're just kind of there. They do have things I like about them. Like, I like how their main like thing is that they drug people and like get control over them that way. I think that's an interesting idea, but overall, they're like okay-ish villains. They're nothing that crazy. And of course, the gameplay is fucking awesome. The gameplay is amazing. It's very fun shooting people, especially on the harder difficulties where you really get challenged. It's really, really fun. The gunplay is still solid as hell. It's better than some modern games nowadays. The gunplay is so fucking fun, and the combat, the hand-to-hand combat, this is where they really got good with the hand-to-hand combat. I really like it here. The whole intro is literally just a giant fight, and it's so much fun. Seriously, it's one of the best intros in the entire series. I really like the hand-to-hand combat, and it was such a treat when they gave us a section that was just hand-to-hand combat. Obviously, it gets better in the next game, but in here, this is where it really started to get good, where they started to design like areas and sections just around it. I really like it. Also, one of the best features that this game has that for some reason they didn't include in future games is the ability to throw back grenades. I really like this feature. I don't know why it's not in 4 or Lost Legacy. It's such a cool feature. Seriously, it allows for some more. You can like sit in areas and just not have to worry about grenades, which is like a problem in these games where, especially in the harder difficulties where you get pinned down by like loads of gunfire, they throw one grenade at you and you're fucked, basically. And in here, that can't happen. You can throw it and then move forward. I don't know why they removed this feature. It's so good. It's such a good feature, and I would have loved to have seen it like better and improved in future games, but I guess not. So yeah, throwing back grenades is a giant W. Also, I think the puzzles in this game are pretty good. Now, this could be me just because I played this game a few times and I knew all the answers. But from what I remember, the puzzles were actually pretty fun. They're not too hard. They're not too easy. You actually have to put some thought in it. And think as like Nate. You have to think as the character to solve them. They're pretty fun. Besides maybe like one I don't really like. But other than that, the rest of them are pretty solid. Now, as for things I don't like, one, there's a giant part of the story that relies on contrivance a little too hard. There's a part where Nathan is like getting like pinned down by gunfire, and it's very clear he's gonna die in like any second. And then he just gets saved by a completely random person that we've never met at all, and bam, he's fine. I know the second game did this, but here's the problem. In the second game, they made a whole character out of that person, and it's very interesting. But in here, the character is just used as like a gateway to get to more action. It's just used as a gateway to save Nate and a gateway to like have like a horse and a car chase, basically. There's nothing to this character at all. So it was just kind of sad to see that they're just used as like a gateway point, basically. And that's pretty much all I have. Just for cons. The only thing is, this game is sadly just overshadowed by 4 and 2. It just happens to be in the middle of two of the best in the series, which is really sad in my opinion. Just because this game is also pretty good, but it's like the lost stepbrother in this series. I don't know why. It's still very solid with some great set pieces like the plane. Who could forget the plane? But yeah, I really like Uncharted 3, so I'm going to give this bad boy a 9 out of 10. This game also had an online mode, but I haven't played in a long time, but I remember it being very solid. It was very close to 4 as online, which I really liked as well. But yeah, 9 out of 10. Very solid game. No really big complaints. It's still a fun time. And now that I've finished the Nathan Drake collection, I have to say, I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. It's very good. Very solid. I'm not a big fan of the first game, to be honest, just because it's shown its age recently. Like it doesn't hold up as good as 2 or 3 does. I still do like it a lot, but it's not nearly as good as 2 or 3. It's just very old. Like it was one of the PS3 launch titles. So it sadly doesn't hold up as well. But overall, if you're looking for some great action games, I highly recommend this collection. It's just such a good franchise to get into. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to review 4 and Lost Legacy pretty soon, so stay on the lookout for that. Alright, see you guys later.